Hey, Wheelman here. Doing an alignment on a 2023 Chevrolet Silverado with a 3.0 liter Duramax engine. Okay, what we're doing here on this alignment is we got to start setting the angles of the front suspension so everything rolls straight down the road and there's no tire wear. So you've got several different angles involved with alignments. You've got toe in, you've got camber, you've got caster. There's other angles involved for more complex situations, but on this vehicle with a solid rear axle, this is mainly what we're concerned with. So we're going to be setting all the air pressure on the vehicle here, and once we set it, we're going to get the heads of the alignment machine on the wheels and start checking the alignment to see where it is currently. Now, we think the alignment might be off a little bit because we did change to custom wheels with a slightly different offset than factory wheels. So we're expecting the alignment to be just a little bit different than what it should be. So we rolled the vehicle back to check for caster, and it rolls back to a certain point and everything lights up in green when we reach that point, and we roll it back forward, lights up in green again, and we're good there. Now he's going to be turning the steering wheel to the left, and you'll see the screen, the X on the screen will become an arrow. Pin the turn plates on the alignment machine.
Oh, so it'll turn.
So we can turn the wheel. That's what he's doing right now. So we're preparing so we can turn the steering wheel to check. Now, if we look at the screen, we'll start to see when he turns it turns to an arrow. And he'll get it into that sweet spot where it turns green. Yep, now it's wanting to turn to the right. Check to the right. Yep, and now it's going back center. There we go, lined up perfectly. Now there is all of our alignment specs.
Okay then.
So how are we looking?
Read it. So talk me through like top to bottom here.
So the top row is the camber, left and right, and we're at -0.8 and -0.9. That means the top of the tire is leaned in just a slight bit. The total cross camber is going to be the 0.1 number there. That means we have slightly more on the right than we do on the left. We have caster is here, that's turning the steering wheel back and forth and rolling the vehicle back and forth. We've checked caster. We got 4.8 on the left, 4.5 on the right. That's also in the green. Cross caster is the difference between those two. The total toe, or the toe in, we got left toe in, right toe in, and total toe right here in the center. So we got basically 0 to 0.01 total toe. And that's going to change as you just touch the vehicle or move anything. If the wind blows a little bit, that'll change a little bit. These are very sensitive.
So if you look at this tire, you have toe like this, camber like this. So
toe is your steering to steer the tire straight forward down the road.
okay.
Your camber is the top of the tire. Negative is camber leaning in, positive camber is the top of the tire is leaning out. Caster is your steering angle. So if you take your wheel and pivot it straight up and down, that's 0 caster. If you lean that angle back and you turn that wheel, that's positive caster. If you lean that angle forward, that's negative caster. So
How far are we off?
we are almost exactly on right now. We need a little bit more camber on the left side than the right side, preferably.
Look what it does.
Okay.
I'm going to let back up. We're
Right.
pretty close to 0, right?
Yep.
I'm going to pull down again.
And yeah, like we said, the idea there is that you going down the road, what happens? You have people in the aerodynamics. How's that change?
Yeah.
So-
So the factory calls for 10.
Right. But when you pull down,
Watching what I just did, is 10 a legitimate number?
because you went to negatives immediately.
Oh, you went, look how far we went negative. And I didn't even pull it down as far as it's going to be.
0.17, 0.19.
0.1. Yeah.
We're about 20. We're twice what the factory calls for.
Well, you just stop pulling down so hard.
No, I'm getting at what real world stuff, see? I know what you're saying, but this is how I make vehicles really good versus going by factory specs and just cross your fingers and hope everything's okay. See?
You go to a tire store and some guy's going to go, oh, it's in the green. It's good.
Yeah.
A tire store is going to look at that and go, it's perfect. I don't even have to touch it. It's all in the green. Run it out, charge the guy for an alignment, done.
And the guy drives down the road, wears these tires out prematurely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what the tire shop's going to say when you come back and complain about it?
It was in the
You
green.
got to rotate your tires more often. Rotate them, rotate them, rotate them. That's what they always say.
Or you're driving your
Real
car.
world, if you do a proper alignment based on what I showed you, you still need to rotate your tires. But you don't have to do as often because they're gonna rip them apart and you get better fuel mileage. Tow-in is your fuel mileage angle. Tow-in.
So what's your plan then for adjustment with pulling it down like that?
That's just for the final tow setting.
Okay.
When I was pulling it down, it doesn't change the camber very much, really, in caster, hardly at all, because those more rigid angles. Tow-in is what changes. It's called bump steer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix camber and caster. You always do tow very last.
Yep.
And whenever you have front and rear adjustments, you're going to get the rear taken care of first, and you're going to come up the front, fix the front, do the front tow very last. Done.
Yeah, even though we're not going to probably mess around with adjusting it, the thrust angle right there, that's basically how straight your rear axle is compared to the front. So yours is really, really close, 0.03. That's pretty close to dead on. So that rear axle is tracking straight forward towards the front of the vehicle.
Have little plastic plugs here. See? And what I always do is I always take all those out, because what that is when the factory, when this thing's rolling down the assembly line, they do what's called a rolling alignment while it's rolling down the assembly line. Machines kind of set it, and then they put these plastic plugs in there to kind of hold it until they have a chance to zip those bolts tight. So I cannot adjust these with these little plastic plugs in there because it blocks it from moving. So these things just pop out. This is also a good indication of whether alignment's ever been done and done right. You know, if someone comes to you and wants to sell you a vehicle and they say, oh yeah, it's been lined and everything, all the maintenance done, all this good stuff, and you look underneath there and still these plastic plugs are in there, that means it hasn't been aligned.
And it's on both sides?
All four.
All four, okay.
And these are actually the same kind of things that they used to have when the control arms were on the upper and adjustable. They were in there.
And we had talked about offline a little bit. This is 2019 and newer. We're now doing lower control arms instead of upper control arms for adjustments. Okay. Do you find that's easier to do lower control arms because you have better access to them?
Yeah. On the upper ones, you have to reach over the tire to do your adjustments.
Okay.
And so let's say a customer has a lowered vehicle, for example. We have less room to get in there. Or they have great big huge tires, less room to get in there. You have to fight around all that stuff. Here, you just sit underneath here comfortable, make your adjustments, done. The only thing is, when you got an experienced alignment technician that's used to using upper control arm adjustments, everything's backwards.
Okay.
So on the lower.
And this is really GM vehicles only with independent front suspension, because the other ones have solid axles. What's in solid axle setup? Are you doing? How's that change for alignment?
It depends on which vehicle it is. It's case by case per actual vehicle. But let's say you got what I did the other day.
Ford or a Ram or something.
Yeah, I did a Ford just the other day. Fords have you take the upper ball joint, there's a sleeve that holds the upper ball joint at a different angle that moves it around. It's an offset sleeve. Corey, if you open up that top drawer and grab that steel sleeve out of there, that's what's on the upper ball joint on the Fords.
Okay.
If you tip it,
is offset.
see it underneath of it, offset?
Okay.
You change those to different degrees and different angles, and you can move it around to change camber, caster, different amounts.
Okay.
So on those. Some Dodges also have those. But yeah, so every vehicle has their own adjustment locations and procedures. And what's cool about the Hunter alignment machine, I'm not a Hunter rep and I'm not selling Hunter products, but the Hunter alignment machine has it's the section in there where it tells you, it shows pictures of how to do everything. So even someone like myself could do that. All right, so now these are garbage. Now we can go to work. Okay, so what we're gonna do on the right side, we're gonna gain camber. So when we gain camber and we don't want to change caster, we have to move both sides equally in.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna be doing on the right side here.
We have completed the alignment job on this 2023 Silverado, and we are driving it home from Colorado back to Nebraska. We set up the vehicle on the alignment rack, we adjusted tire pressure, we did all the major adjustments. We did all of the adjustments we needed to on this alignment as far as camber and caster adjustments first. Threw off the toe end major, so that's why you always do the toe end adjustment last on these alignments, but got everything set up in spec where we wanted it, where it works good for us. It was in the green when we started, but didn't really like all of the numbers where they were sitting, and we adjusted them a little bit better and got them right to where they need to be. So this alignment is right on, driving straight down the road, steering wheel straight, everything's running perfect. Okay, so that wraps it up for this video. So as usual, keep the rubber side down, and we will see you on the next video.